My friends, we are living in a world that is not just flesh and blood. There are forces beyond what the eye can see, battles beyond what the hands can fight, and spirits beyond what the mind can comprehend. Many walk through life carrying burdens they do not understand, facing struggles that seem unnatural, battling chains that are unseen but deeply felt. And today I want to talk about something that few acknowledge, but many experience. Something that grips the lives of men and women, something that operates in the shadows of the unseen realm. There are those who find themselves bound in strange, oppressive cycles of broken relationships, unexplained struggles in marriage, and dreams that leave them tormented. They find themselves unable to move forward in life as if something unseen holds them back. There are those who wake up feeling drained, not from physical exhaustion, but from encounters that leave them confused. They see patterns of delay, patterns of destruction, patterns of stagnation, and many do not even know what they are fighting against. There are some who have never understood why relationships in their lives never seem to work out, why they remain trapped in loneliness despite their efforts. There are those who wake up with a deep sense of emptiness, a sorrow that they cannot explain. They are bound by something they do not understand, locked in a spiritual battle that they did not choose. There are those who experience strange dreams, dreams of intimacy, dreams that leave them ashamed and exhausted. They wake up with a feeling that something was there, something unseen yet terribly real. And my friends, there are those who, despite their love for God, find themselves constantly attacked in this way, constantly hindered by something they cannot see. These things are not natural, they are spiritual, and they must be confronted in the spiritual realm. You see, my friends, when you are dealing with a spirit spouse, you are dealing with a force that does not want you to have peace, that does not want you to move forward. It wants to claim ownership over your life. It wants to destroy what God has ordained for you. It wants to keep you bound, keep you isolated, keep you from the blessings that the Lord has prepared for you. Many have ignored these signs, dismissing them as mere coincidence, as just another unfortunate part of life. But I tell you today, my friends, that these things are not natural. They are not normal, and they must be dealt with. There are those who find that every time they get close to someone, something happens to drive them apart. It happens again and again, like a cycle that cannot be broken. They try to love, but something blocks them. They try to move forward, but something pulls them back. They are trapped in a pattern that seems beyond their control, and they wonder, why does this keep happening to me? There are those who find themselves unable to get married. Despite every effort, they have the desire, they have the intention, but every time they get close, something disrupts it. Every potential relationship is destroyed. Every engagement falls apart. And they do not understand why. There are those who have dreams, strange, disturbing dreams. Dreams of intimacy with someone they cannot see. Dreams that leave them feeling unclean. They wake up feeling drained, as if something was taken from them in the night. They wake up feeling watched, feeling that something is near, and they wonder why they feel this way. There are those who struggle with their marriages. No matter what they do, peace never seems to last. There is always conflict, always tension, always something pushing them apart. They fight battles they do not understand, battles that seem greater than them. They feel as if something is always lurking, always waiting to destroy what they have built. And there are those who feel the weight of oppression, a heaviness that follows them wherever they go. It is a spiritual weight, a burden that they cannot shake off. They feel as if they are being watched, as if something is holding them back, as if they are not alone in their own lives. These, my friends, are signs of spiritual bondage. These are signs that something unseen has laid claim to your life. And let me tell you today, you do not have to accept it. You do not have to live under this bondage. You do not have to remain trapped in this cycle. Because there is power, there is deliverance, there is freedom in the name that is above every other name. You see, my friends, The enemy wants you to stay blind. He wants you to think that this is just life, that this is just the way things are. But the enemy is a liar. And today the light is exposing the darkness. The chains are being broken. The yoke is being lifted. The power of God is greater than every spirit that seeks to hold you down. You do not belong to the darkness. You do not belong to oppression. You do not belong to the forces that seek to keep you in bondage. You were created for freedom. You were created for joy. You were created for the goodness of God. And today you must take a stand. You must rise up and declare that you will no longer live under this oppression. You must rise up and say, no more. The time has come for you to be free. The time has come for you to walk in the fullness of what God has prepared for you. You were not meant to be bound. You were not meant to live in chains. You were not meant to suffer under the weight of something that is not from God. And let me tell you, my friends, that when you call upon the name of the Lord, He answers. When you cry out for deliverance, He hears you. When you take your stand against the enemy, heaven fights for you. And today, heaven is fighting for you. Today, the chains are breaking. Today, the yoke is being destroyed. Today, you are stepping into your freedom. Do not let the enemy deceive you any longer. Do not let him keep you in fear. Do not let him keep you in bondage. The power of God is greater. The love of God is stronger. The name of Jesus is mighty to save. And so, I say to you today, walk in that power. Walk in that freedom, walk in that deliverance, because you, my friends, were never meant to live in bondage. You were meant to live in victory. You were meant to be free, and in the name of Jesus, you shall be free indeed. There is a power that breaks every chain, a power that no darkness can withstand, a power that has been given to those who call upon the name that is above every other name. The battle that so many face is not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness in this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Many are trapped in cycles they do not understand, bound by forces they cannot see, held back by something beyond their natural comprehension. They try to fight with their own strength, but they cannot seem to win. They seek solutions in the physical realm, but the problem is not physical, it is spiritual. And only spiritual authority can break spiritual bondage. For too long, many have been deceived into believing that these experiences are normal, that it is just bad luck, just a string of unfortunate events, just a phase that will pass. But the enemy thrives in deception. His greatest weapon is to convince you that he is not there, that he is not working against you, that the chains around your life do not exist. And so people continue to struggle in silence, unaware that they are engaged in a battle for their very destiny. The spirit spouse is not just a figment of imagination. It is a force that operates in secrecy, seeking to lay claim to a life that does not belong to it. It enforces spiritual contracts, oppresses its victims, and fights to keep them from the blessings that God has ordained for them. Many find themselves trapped in strange cycles, relationships that never work out, marriages that fall apart without explanation, dreams that leave them weary and confused. Some wake up feeling violated, as if something unseen has been with them in the night. They go through life carrying a weight they cannot describe, a heaviness that follows them wherever they go. They see opportunities slip through their fingers time and time again. They pray, but the breakthrough does not come. They fast, but the struggle remains, and they wonder why. There are those who have lived with this oppression for so long that they have accepted it as normal. They believe this is just how life is, that love is not for them, that happiness will always be out of reach, that every step forward will always be met with resistance. They do not know that they are under siege, that an invisible force is working against them, that there is a spiritual claim over their life that must be broken. But the enemy does not hold power over the one who has come to set the captives free. The chains of oppression are not greater than the authority given to those who stand in the power of the Almighty. When a spirit spouse lays claim to a person, it does not just affect their relationships, it affects their mind, their emotions, their finances, their spiritual growth. It seeks to isolate them, to make them feel unloved, to convince them that they will never experience the fullness of life. It causes them to sabotage their own blessings without even realizing it. It works in secrecy, influencing their thoughts, filling them with doubt, making them believe that they are unworthy of love, unworthy of happiness, unworthy of success. It keeps them in cycles of failure, cycles of heartbreak, cycles of loss. And until it is confronted, it will not leave. Until it is cast out, it will remain. There is no earthly remedy for a spiritual attack. No amount of self-help, no amount of wishful thinking, no amount of human effort can break a spiritual stronghold. Many have tried to run from it, to ignore it, to pretend it does not exist. But running does not bring freedom. Ignoring it does not make it go away. It must be confronted with the authority that has been given to those who walk in the light. There is no power in hell that can stand against the one who has been set free. There is no spirit that can claim ownership over the one who has been redeemed. But freedom is not given to those who remain passive. Freedom is given to those who take a stand, who declare that enough is enough, who refuse to live another day in bondage. A spirit spouse does not leave willingly. It must be cast out. It must be rebuked. It must be broken by the power that is greater than every force of darkness. It holds on to its victims through legal rights, through covenants that have been established in the spiritual realm, through access points that have been unknowingly opened. And until those doors are closed, until those legal claims are revoked, the oppression continues. This is why so many struggle for years without finding a solution. They fight the symptoms, but not the root. They pray for relationships to work, but they do not break the chains that are preventing those relationships from flourishing. They pray for happiness, but they do not confront the force that is stealing their joy. Deliverance is not a process of human effort, it is a spiritual battle. And victory is only found in surrendering to the one who has already won the war. The authority to break every chain, to destroy every stronghold, to cast out every oppressive force has been given to those who walk in the power of the divine. But authority must be exercised. A prisoner cannot be set free unless the chains are unlocked. And those who remain silent, those who accept their condition, those who refuse to confront the enemy will remain in bondage. There is a power that breaks every spiritual marriage. A power that dissolves every covenant that was not ordained by the Creator, a power that cancels every claim of the enemy. But it requires action. It requires recognition. It requires a refusal to live another day under oppression. The enemy is persistent, but he is not greater. He fights to keep what he has stolen, but he is already defeated. He does not release his captives easily, but he has no authority to hold them when the higher power is invoked. There is no greater deception than the belief that these things will go away on their own. They will not. There is no greater mistake than believing that human effort can overcome what is spiritual in nature. It cannot. There is no greater tragedy than a person who was meant to be free but chooses to remain in bondage because they do not take action. Many have suffered needlessly. Many have struggled in silence. Many have lived below their potential because they have not recognized the battle they are in. The time for ignorance is over. The time for passivity is over. The time for living in chains is over. There is a greater calling, a greater destiny, a greater purpose that has been assigned to those who walk in the light. But the enemy will not let go willingly. He must be confronted. He must be rebuked. He must be driven out. And only those who take up the authority given to them will see the chains fall. The struggle does not have to continue. The cycles do not have to repeat. The oppression does not have to remain. There is a way out, but it is not found in human strength. It is found in the power that has been given to those who believe. It is found in the authority that has been placed in the hands of those who refuse to be bound any longer. It is found in the truth that darkness cannot withstand the presence of light. And when that light shines, when that authority is exercised, when that power is invoked, every chain must break, every force must bow, every stronghold must be destroyed. The unseen realm influences the physical world more than most people realize. Many go through life unaware that they are bound, unable to see the invisible chains wrapped around them. They live in cycles of frustration, hardship, and delay, believing that this is simply the way life works. But nothing just happens. Everything in the natural realm has a spiritual root, and those who fail to recognize this truth will continue to suffer under oppression without ever understanding why. The greatest deception of the enemy is to make people believe that they are free when they are not, that their struggles are normal when they are not, that their burdens are merely coincidence when they are not. And as long as they believe this lie, they will remain in bondage. There are people who experience repeated failures in relationships, their finances, their health, and every area of life. No matter how hard they try, they never seem to break through. They pray, they fast, they work tirelessly, yet nothing seems to change. Just when success is within reach, something happens to snatch it away. Every door that appears to open is quickly slammed shut. Every opportunity that looks promising suddenly vanishes. Some have spent years in this cycle, moving in circles, going from one disappointment to the next. And they begin to accept it as their reality. They make peace with struggle. They convince themselves that perhaps this is just their fate, that life was never meant to be easy for them. But the truth is, they are living under a bondage they do not even recognize. When a person is bound by spiritual forces, they are not in control of their own life. They may think they are making decisions freely, but there is something operating behind the scenes, influencing their thoughts, directing their steps, keeping them trapped in cycles of failure. These forces do not always operate in dramatic, obvious ways. They are subtle. They work quietly behind the curtain so that the person does not even realize what is happening. They allow just enough success to keep the person from suspecting anything, just enough progress to prevent them from questioning their reality. But they never allow true breakthrough, they never allow true freedom. They keep the person bound in limitations, always struggling but never arriving, always striving but never achieving. Many have felt the weight of this oppression but have been unable to explain it. They wake up with a sense of heaviness they cannot shake. They feel an unseen presence watching them, following them, lingering around them. They experience fear, anxiety, and depression that seem to have no clear cause. They feel as though something is holding them back, something is blocking their progress, something is standing in their way. And yet they cannot see it, they cannot touch it, they cannot define it, but it is there, operating in the background, manipulating their reality. Some experience this oppression most clearly in their dreams. They see strange figures, shadowy beings, or even familiar faces that appear night after night. They find themselves engaging in activities in their dreams that leave them feeling drained, confused, and ashamed when they wake up. They experience sleep paralysis, where they are fully aware but unable to move, as if an unseen force is pressing down on them. They wake up exhausted, as if they have been fighting a battle all night long. And yet they dismiss it as nothing more than a bad dream. But it is not just a dream. It is a sign. It is evidence of a spiritual attack. When a person is under spiritual bondage, the enemy does everything possible to keep them from realizing it. He fills their mind with excuses. He tells them that their struggles are normal, that their failures are simply a result of bad luck, that their experiences are meaningless. He keeps them distracted with entertainment, with busyness, with worldly pursuits, so that they never take the time to sit down and ask themselves why they are struggling the way they are. He convinces them that the only solution is to work harder, to try harder, to do more. But no amount of effort can break a spiritual stronghold. No amount of human strength can overcome a spiritual attack. The chains will remain until they are broken with spiritual authority. There are those who have sensed that something is wrong but have been afraid to confront it. They feel as though they are not strong enough, not knowledgeable enough, not worthy enough to fight against the forces working against them. And so they do nothing. They live in quiet defeat, hoping that things will get better on their own. But they never do. The enemy does not let go willingly. He does not release his captives unless he is forced to. And as long as a person remains passive, as long as they accept their condition, as long as they refuse to rise up and take action, the bondage will remain. One of the greatest tricks of the enemy is to keep people silent. He knows that if they speak out, if they begin to question their reality, if they start seeking answers, they will discover the truth, and the truth will set them free. So he fills them with fear. He makes them believe that if they speak up, they will be ridiculed, that if they seek help, they will be rejected, that if they try to break free, they will fail. And so they stay silent. They keep their struggles to themselves. They pretend that everything is fine, even when they are being tormented day and night. They isolate themselves, believing that no one will understand what they are going through, and this isolation only strengthens the enemy's grip on their life. Many have been conditioned to believe that suffering is just a part of life, that hardship is unavoidable, that struggle is normal. And while challenges are inevitable, continuous, unexplainable failure is not. There is a difference between facing obstacles and being bound. There is a difference between experiencing temporary setbacks and living under oppression. Those who are bound experience the same problems over and over again, no matter what they do. They see the same patterns repeating in their family, in their relationships, in their finances. They fight and struggle and push forward, but something always pulls them back. And until they recognize that they are dealing with a spiritual issue, they will continue to suffer in vain. The enemy does not care how much a person prays if they never take authority. He does not care how much they go to church if they never confront him directly. He does not care how much they cry, how much they complain, how much they wish things were different. He only responds to authority. He only flees when he is commanded to. He only releases what he has stolen when he is forced to. Those who remain passive will continue to suffer. Those who refuse to take a stand will continue to live in chains. There is no middle ground in spiritual warfare. A person is either free or they are bound. They are either victorious or they are defeated. They are either walking in authority or they are living under oppression. And the enemy knows this. That is why he works so hard to keep people from recognizing their condition. Because the moment they do, the moment they open their eyes, the moment they decide that they will no longer live in bondage, his power is broken. But as long as they remain blind, as long as they remain silent, as long as they remain passive, he will continue to oppress them. Freedom is not given to those who wait for it. It is taken by those who fight for it. It is claimed by those who refuse to be bound another day. It is possessed by those who recognize that they were never meant to live in chains. The battle is not won by human strength, but by spiritual authority. And until a person rises up and exercises that authority, they will remain exactly where they are. There are forces in the unseen world that seek to control, manipulate, and dominate human lives. Many people go through life battling invisible barriers, struggling against forces they cannot see, feeling weighed down by burdens they cannot explain. These forces are subtle, working behind the scenes to ensure that a person remains trapped, that they never rise beyond a certain level, that no matter how hard they try, they always fall short of their goals. This is not mere coincidence. There are spiritual forces assigned to keep people in bondage, to prevent them from breaking free, to ensure that their lives never align with the fullness of their destiny. One of the clearest signs that a person is dealing with such a force is the presence of strange, recurring dreams that leave them feeling drained, confused, or disturbed. The dream realm is not just a random collection of thoughts and images. It is a gateway to spiritual realities. What happens in dreams is often a reflection of what is taking place in the unseen realm. Many people experience dreams where they are engaging in activities that they would never participate in while awake, yet these dreams feel vivid, real, and powerful. They may wake up feeling as though something was taken from them, as though they have been in a battle all night long. Some may experience dreams of being chased, of being trapped, of being held down by an unseen force. Others may find themselves in places they do not recognize, with people they do not know, feeling as if they are part of something beyond their understanding. A person who is spiritually oppressed will often wake up feeling exhausted, as if they have not truly rested. Their body may have been at rest, but their spirit was active, engaged in something beyond their comprehension. Some will find that every time they are on the verge of something significant in their waking life, they have disturbing dreams that disrupt their peace. It is as if something is warning them not to proceed, as if something is trying to sabotage their progress before they even get started. These dreams are not mere coincidences. They are messages, signs of a deeper spiritual reality that must not be ignored. Another sign that a person is under spiritual oppression is the presence of repeated patterns of loss and misfortune, particularly after experiencing such dreams. They may notice that every time they dream of a particular figure, event, or scenario, something negative follows. Perhaps they dream of losing something only to wake up and experience an actual loss. Perhaps they dream of an argument only to wake up to a conflict they did not expect. The connection between their dreams and their reality becomes undeniable, yet they struggle to break free from the cycle. No matter what they do, the pattern continues. Some people experience physical manifestations of spiritual oppression after having such dreams. They may wake up feeling unusually weak, as if their energy has been drained. Others experience unexplainable pains, heaviness in their chest, difficulty breathing, or an overwhelming sense of fear. Some even find marks or scratches on their body that were not there before they went to sleep. These are not things that should be ignored. They are indications of something deeper, something beyond the physical. The unseen realm is real, and it influences the natural world in ways that many fail to recognize. A person may also find that these dreams intensify whenever they try to move forward spiritually. If they attempt to pray more, fast, or deepen their connection with the divine, they may experience an increase in these disturbing dreams. This is because the forces working against them do not want them to break free. They seek to keep them bound, distracted, and exhausted so that they do not have the strength to fight back. The more a person tries to advance, the more resistance they face. This is not a sign to stop. It is a sign that they are close to something significant, something that the enemy does not want them to attain. There are those who dismiss these experiences, choosing to believe that dreams are meaningless, that they hold no real power. But those who understand spiritual realities know that nothing happens without a cause. The enemy operates in secrecy, and as long as a person remains unaware, they will continue to suffer. But when a person begins to recognize the patterns, when they start to see that their struggles are not random, when they acknowledge that their dreams are revealing something deeper, then they can begin to take action. The first step to freedom is awareness. The first step to breaking free from any bondage is recognizing that it exists.